Join me as we make this piece at the same time. You won't believe how I do it. Hang on. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Later. Hey everyone. So I had a good time doing the smash paintings where I did one pour and put another pour on there and then peeled it apart. And I did the second coat on it and I really liked how it came out, but it kind of gave me an idea about doing something else. And I'm going to talk you through it while I prep up this particular board here. So I've got a 12 by 12 canvas. I'm using Stone Coat Art Coat resin, and which is my go-to. I always use these guys. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a real a clear coat on the bottom since, hang on a sec. Since I've got these are pre-gessoed cradle boards that I use, and they're already white. So I don't have to worry about applying white, or you can even add a color to your board and work off, it's either sneak in another color or work off the colors you're using. But currently right now I'm just going to use a white board. All right, just giving this a good covering, a little bit of light stuff on the sides. I'm not worried about the color dripping over, but what this does is it kind of varnishes the wood just by doing a skim coat, if you want to call it anything, on the sides. It gives the wood just a little bit of a varnish type of an effect. And so it finishes off the piece. I should have gotten lots of paper towels. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I've got a little board here that's a 4x4. Oh, and I just dribbled something. Great. Let's see. I bet that was a little chunk of resin, old resin. Yep, good. So I've got a little board here, and I guess I should have done this one first on camera and then did this guy, but I have to pour this one off camera. But I'm doing the same thing. So I'm going to continue talking about the idea. So what I thought I would do is kind of a playoff on the smush painting. I'm going back and forth whether or not to call it a smush painting or a squish painting. I can do this part on camera. But I thought I would do a big canvas and a little canvas and kind of do a smash and drag. And I thought that might be kind of interesting. Oh, just a thought. You never know. Sometimes these little ideas, something amazing can come out of them, and it might be a flop. Yeah, sometimes in life, things happen and you're not oh, okay. Again, resin skin. Alrighty then. Some person just was invisible and came in and dropped it on. Okay. So what I'm going to do here on this big canvas is I'm going to do a puddle pour off to the side. I've got clean gloves, so that way I am nice and clean. The bottom, let's see. I'm going to build up several colors here, and the theory is that I'll heat it up, and the last color will be white. Actually, I'm going to do both. I'm going to do the first color and the last color white, so that way some white gets onto both the little canvas and the big canvas. Here, I'm talking in the processor. So I'm going to do a puddle pour here, build up a couple colors, end with white, put the little canvas on top, give it kind of a twist and rotate and move it across the board, and then off, and see what happens. So here we go. And I've got bunch of different colors here. I'll put them at the end of the video. So let's see, I want to put colors that work really well together. So this is kind of a really deep purple here. Maybe a little more. Have a nice medium purple. And I don't have the color names in front of me, so I don't want to go and give you the wrong color name. However, if any of you guys play with resin, you probably can guess that particular color. All right. So let me do this. I'm going to put a little gold in between, just to break up this color and the next color. Because I think the gold will get along well with that color. I think it's called seafoam. And then that color will definitely get along with this guy, which is I believe the dark okay, I'm going against what I said I wouldn't do. That's a dark turquoise, so I know that one for sure. All right, a little bit of white. A little bit more white. You ever have that idea and then mid-thought of the idea, you're like, nope, I'm going to change it already. And a little bit of gold. All right, so I'm going to heat this up just a little bit. Get rid of some bubbles. I'm hitting the little canvas now real quick. A little bit more. All right. So put it on there and kind of rotate around and to come off the canvas. That's looking really interesting right now. I don't know if I can even get in closer. Let's see, my finger's good, yeah. That's looking rather interesting. Just without even touching it. All right, let's get this back down here. All right, here we go. Enough delay, let's just do it. And make sure we're not gonna drop any stuff. No, okay. All right, here's nothing. All right, so I gently laid it down there. I'm gonna give a little bit of pressure and then just kind of glide it along. And I think I'm gonna go off canvas and just keep a slight rotation. And I'm okay with that dribble. Okay. That's kind of cool. That really looks like a feather, like a peacock feather. All right, I'm gonna wipe off the drips on this one so I can show you. This is the little guy. So that's kind of interesting. But I really like that big one. All right, I am gonna heat that up with a heat gun just real quick. Can you tell I'm thinking? I'm thinking, I can't talk. So I'm gonna heat this up just really quickly, just to get rid of the air bubbles. Let's see if I can. Just a little bit. Reminds me of those big fluffy feathers you would see like on a pirate's hat, you know, that had that real fluffy plume. to it. Like, you know, the spine goes this way and it just, except for usually they're white or a solid color, but this one's definitely got that peacock variation. That's kind of cool. Okay, I'm gonna leave that just as is. Let me put that away on my tray. Put some stuff here real quick. Ooh, that's so cool. Okay, I've got a baker's rack, which has these really large cookie sheets, and it allows me to put pieces away, and there's a plastic cover with a zipper on it, so I can literally zip it up, keep the critters away. And we live out in the country and we have bugs, definitely. Actually, bugs are everywhere, but seem to have a lot of them out in the country. All right, so I kind of want to do something with this one, but I'm not sure what yet. All right, I'm gonna lay in some color right here, a little bit of the white, because I've got some stone coat base tint in the white, and do a swipe over here, just a real casual swipe, and see if I can encourage the cells to open up around these colors and let the colors show through. So I'm just going to do like a solid color over here, and I think I'm going to do a rather contrasty color like this dark purple. So that way the colors really pop coming through. All right, I think that's enough there. Get a light torch. And I've got a silicone spatula that I use often for swipes. So I want to move this piece so it's working with my hand gesture rather easily. And for me, it's about playing with color. And I think these granules are picking up from this dark purple that I'm using. There we go. Let's see. Now it looks like I covered up all the color, so I'm going to hit it with the heat just a little bit. Sometimes things work the way you want them to do. Sometimes it's got its own idea. So we're going to keep going. Hopefully I'm not ruining this piece. All right. This time I'm going to put a second bright color in. And this time it's still going contrasty. It's just going contrasty in another direction. My spatula, give a little bit of heat, just a little bit. Now I find that usually when you let the piece rest for a while, when you use this stone coat base tint, sometimes cells will continue to develop. And I've had a piece where it's like hardly any cells were coming up, and I put it on the sheet and put it in the safe area, and came back like 2 hours later and the entire piece was covered in cells. So sometimes they don't appear immediately. All right. Crazy about this edge, this area in here, but this has got some potential. All right. Add a little color in here, a little bit of purple, and then a little gold. So what I like to do is mix my stick in for a little bit, and you kind of get that little string of gold that comes off of it. And then you can follow some lines. Should have gone horizontal there. Now all I'm doing is running my finger just barely in it to kind of break up the harsh line. So I don't want to put too much heat on this right now. All right, let's see if I can get one going horizontally again. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Sometimes you can grab drips from the side there and use those for extra colors for your edges if you're getting some white edges. I'm not good at that narration stuff when I'm really thinking. Sorry. There we go. A little bit more over here. And I think we're done. This may be one of those pieces that requires a second coat, meaning that it's not done yet, and a second coat will really bring it out. I like playing with layers and resin and stuff like that, so we will have to see how that goes. So, see, I'm still fiddling with it. Sometimes you just gotta fiddle. Okay, I think we're good right now. So I'm gonna heat this up, put this away and let this dry. Or, sorry, not dry, cure for 24 hours. And I'll get some images for you guys tomorrow. All right, until then, later. All right, I'm gonna bring you guys in for a close-up. Now they're not cured yet. They're just ready on my tray here. But check this out. See how many cells have developed just while sitting here waiting for me to work on this little piece? This is pretty cool. There's that one, and here's the little guy. This one sure has a lot of sparkle to it. All right, check in the at the end of the video, and you can see what colors I used. All right, and I'll show you these guys tomorrow. Later. All right, here's the next day on this particular piece. And there's the little compadre that helped make it. I think it's set up rather nicely. It definitely has that plume feather type of a look to it. And those cells, good gravy, they were bananas. But I love the blends on the outside a lot. I'm gonna take you in for a close-up on this guy. If I can get to focus. So you may or may not be able to tell, no, can't tell. There's a little bit of a white variation between this white and then the background white. And so that gets really, really interesting. And you see how that gold is already on the surface. But these colors worked really nicely together. I think this was a successful experiment. And here's a little compadre. An overhead view of that. Okay, focus. There we go. Now I think this guy here, it's got a few little cells in there, a lot of color going on. But I think I'm gonna do another layer on top of that. Just something subtle, something bring in a little extra depth. And tie up some loose edges, like in here and in here, that are bugging me. So, almost there with this piece. I think I'm definitely there with this one. So we may have to try that technique again. Okay guys, you know what to do. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this. Hit the subscribe, but definitely hit the bell so you get notified next time I put something up. Later.